What's going on, boys? Today I've got a very quick video for you. These are 3 tricks that you can apply within 5 minutes that will completely change the trajectory of your life. You can apply these tricks straight away, as I say, within 5 minutes, guys, but to actually benefit from them, you need to continually practice them. I'm not a snake oil salesman. I'm not selling you a quick fix to all of your problems in life. What I am providing you are the tools that you need to actually progress in your journey. And like anything, to actually succeed and to see results, you need to remain consistent and you need to continually practice. Trick number 1, guys, is to simply remove variables from your life, as many variables as you possibly can. I am someone that when I don't get any work done, good, solid work, finished in my day, I start to feel very miserable. Now, about a week ago, I had a few tasks which had to be done, but like the ROI of me doing them is just very low. You know, those just niggling little tasks that just have to be done. I essentially had a few of those to go through. Just bullshit stuff, like, you know, having to go back to the garage with my bike to get it repaired, sitting in a bank for 2 hours, just bullshit tasks. Now, when I got finished with these tasks, it was 5 p.m. and I had done no work, and I felt like absolute shit. And this is when it actually struck me. A lot of people, they don't actually realize the impact that these small decisions and these variables that we have in our day, how much they impact our ability to actually do good, solid work, which is going to propel us forward in life. I've got friends even here on this island who seemingly are always doing something. Like, they're going to this restaurant over here, they're gonna go do some sightseeing. It's good having a good work-life balance. But the thing is, I don't think people realize just how much these things that we do actually take away from our ability to produce solid work. So variables, what variables are you talking about, Sam? Low return on investment tasks. So when you do something, the return that you get is low. It's no good. A few good examples of this is, like, you know, making food. You can pay someone to make you food and now do a way better job. I understand I'm in a very good position to be able to do things like that, though, so I'm very grateful for that. But that's something that you guys can build towards, because trust me, I've done my time in the trenches and I remember how much time I would spend thinking about food and eating food. So if you can't eliminate it entirely, you can at least simplify it, so you can eat the same things every single day. Make it as simple as possible for yourself. And another low ROI task might be something like, you know, checking your emails. It's something that, yeah, it can be done, but it's not what's driving your business forward. It's not what's driving you forward. It's a shallow task. More variables are actually the people that you surround yourself with, your friends and even your family. If you have friends who don't serve you, they don't serve what you're trying to achieve, and they're actually pulling you back, these are variables which you can cut out of your life very easily for a massive boost in your mental clarity. If you're spending an hour a day talking to some bum on Discord about how much he loves League of Legends, if you was to just cut that person out of your life, you would literally gain 1 hour of your time back a day, which is insane. And not only that, you'd also gain back the time that you spend thinking about this person and how much of their influence they have on you, which again is just enormous. Cut bad friends out. Keep a very tight circle of good friends who are on a similar pathway to you, and they actually propel you forward. I don't hang around with people who do not propel me forward. I spend no time with these people. And I know this can be very difficult, because when I came out of school, my only friends were people who were doing like silly shit. They were either playing games 12 hours a day or they were going out and doing a bunch of drugs. But I promise you, even being alone is better than having that negative influence on your life. Your family, it's a hard pill to swallow, and you know, a lot of people, they like to sort of mentally masturbate about how you've only got one family, so you should be very grateful and da 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 da. The thing is, we're not all blessed to have like amazing family, okay? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't practice gratitude for your family, but if spending at least less time with them and having less of their influence on you helps you gain mental clarity, then that is simply another variable that you can at least minimize in your life, okay? I love my family a lot, but I do my best work when I am on the other side of the globe to them. It is what it is. And frankly, the best thing that I can do for my family sometimes is to simply just look after myself, so that I can actually drive myself forward in my life, so I can in return make their lives better. And finally, boys, micro decisions. Every single day, every single minute, you're faced with a micro decision. Do I grab my phone and open up Instagram right now? Micro decision. And they're so subconscious that you don't notice it, but these things sap away your attention. More micro decisions might be, what do I wear today? What do I eat today? You're always going to be faced with a bunch of micro decisions. You simply just need to find ways to minimize the effect that they have on your attention. Have your outfits set out for the week. No decision making there, especially first thing in the morning. You don't want to be making low ROI decisions like that because again, it's going to sap your energy. And to simply just remove micro decisions. Like, I don't have the decision to open up my fucking dopamine machine here if it's on the other side of the room. For example, I've just smashed my phone. It's okay. Eliminate micro decisions, or at least minimize them. You're never, ever, ever going to eliminate all variables. Never. But you do have control over them and you can minimize them. Trick number 2 is to train negative thoughts out of your mind. I had a very weird morning today. It wasn't a good start to my day, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway because it really proves my point here. I woke up this morning, I had a very quick cold shower, and then I basically just sat on my phone for an hour straight. No good. Bad way to start your morning. But I found myself in a rabbit hole. I was on Instagram and then I saw some guy comment on a reel. It was a UFC reel. It's not relevant, but it was a UFC reel. His comment was very negative. I went on his profile to see like, okay, let's see what the fuck you're talking about. Like, this guy was talking shit about a UFC fighter and it's like, okay. He said something like, oh, stick to fighting, mate. And I was like, who the fuck are you to say that to a UFC champion, by the way? Go on his profile. And I just end up looking at this guy's profile for half an hour, kind of in awe and amazed at how much of a victim complex he has. This guy is a chronic victim, chronic complainer. All he does is complain and talk about how terrible his life is and how tormented he is. I was genuinely in awe at looking at this. Like, it's the closest thing I've ever really seen to like Shadow the Hedgehog in real life. I was looking at it out of like morbid curiosity, but then I also like got kind of sad and I thought to myself quite deeply for a while, like, is there a way I could help this guy? This is the sort of guy who could use help the most. But the thing is, I concluded that I don't think I would actually be able to help him. And the reason being is because if I was to help this guy, I wouldn't be able to do it in one message. I would have to continually coach him over a long period of time. And then I thought to myself, like, maybe I should do that. It might be very interesting to see if I can actually help turn this guy's life around. But then I realized how much of a mental toll that would have on me. And that is entirely the point I'm making with this trick. Okay, if you are a chronically negative person, if you entertain negative thoughts, you are going to chase anything and everything good out of your life. You're never going to make any money. You're never going to make any good friends. You're never going to get that raise at work. You're never going to have the energy to do good things which will propel you forward in life, such as go to the gym. And you're going to remain a victim for your entire life. You have trapped yourself in a self-fulfilling prophecy of being a victim. All of my highly successful friends are absolutely repelled away from anyone who complains. They don't ever want to be around someone who complains because that means that that person is self-snitching as a loser. Once you actually get a decent bit into your self-development journey, you realize the power of your words and your thoughts. And if someone has consistent negative thoughts and negative words, they're completely hopeless in actually moving forward. They're only going to go backwards. They're only going to decay. And the brutal reality is, winners like winners and losers like losers. Winners don't want to hang around with losers. And wallowing in your own fucking awful, terrible existence, my life is a constant traumatic and terrible experience, isn't going to do anything but repel people away. I was almost wanting to help that guy until I realized how much of a mental toll it would have on me. And I could have dropped him one message which just completely kind of laid into him, really, because you do need to get through to these people. And I could have just, you know, info dumped on him everything that he needs to change and start doing to at least start moving forward in life. I'm not saying I have all of the answers, but there are definite truths as to things that this guy could do better. Okay, 100%. But I know what his response would have been to that message, because it's not exactly how to win friends and influence people, just info dumping on someone like that and kind of laying into them in a weird way, not in a malicious way, but I'd have to talk about like the shit that he does wrong all the time. I have to criticize him. It's not how to win friends and influence people. It's not going to work. And it's simply just going to get him to become defensive and triple down on his victimhood status. So I decided I was not able to help him. But this is why training your negative thoughts out of your brain is one of the most important things that you need to do starting right fucking now. And I don't really care about how much of your, complaining is evidence backed. I'll give you an example of something that I sometimes I catch myself complaining about. I've been struggling to put on weight for 2 years of weightlifting and dieting. And that's very frustrating to me, but I understand that it's not empowering for me or helpful for me to complain about that. Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any fucking difference. So I don't. And if I was someone who continually complained about that, I'm just gonna drive people away who could potentially give me the advice which changes things for me. The best way to train negative thoughts out of your mind, because it's very hard to do alone, is to do it with a friend. Have a friend that you get along with, you're on the same page, you wanna grow together, and show them this video and say to them, you're gonna be my guy. Whenever you catch me complaining, tell me off. Give me a good old punch in the arm or something, right? And I guarantee you'll start to train those negative thoughts out of your brain. And more importantly, you're going to become less of a complainer. And once you stop entertaining these negative thoughts and you stop saying these disempowering words, you'll find that everything which is owed to you actually begins entering your life effortlessly. This is very important. Trick number 3 is to track your habits. This is very simple, but I feel like a lot of people still don't do this, myself included. I used to be the right-hand man of arguably the biggest self-improvement YouTuber on the space, Hamza. Yet, I never habit tracked until very recently, which is insane because I understand that you are essentially a sum of your daily habits. Your habits are your absolute foundation to who you are and what you achieve. And without tracking them, you don't actually know what you're doing. Your ego might actually cloud your judgment. You might think that you're doing more than you actually are. So you need to make a habit tracker and you need to make your habits very specific. For example, the habit don't complain is not specific enough. It's very hard to track when you complain. You want to track things like train 60 minutes, tick. It's very specific. You are either in the gym 60 minutes or you're fucking not. It's black or white, it's binary. Eat 5 eggs, eat 10 eggs. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm currently progressively overloading how many eggs I eat a day because eggs are very good and they're a superfood. Wake up at X time, 8:30, 6 a.m., whatever floats your boat. These are very specific habits which you can either say yes or no. There's no in between. You don't want any in between with your habit tracker because that leaves room for interpretation. And that is absolutely not what we want. We don't want any room for interpretation. I don't care how dialed in you are and how epic you are, okay? If you're given the opportunity to, give yourself a pat on the back, even though maybe it's not quite deserved, maybe you weren't in the gym for 60 minutes, you were more in there for like 50 minutes. You're very likely in that moment to be like, yeah, good enough, and give yourself a tick. That's not what we fucking want. It's binary, yes or no. Once you've got your habits, you want to create a punishment for not actually abiding by them. And a good punishment is something you genuinely don't want to do. I was speaking to my friend Andrew a few days ago, and I was like, Andrew, you've been talking about making a YouTube video for a really long time. Why have you not done it? And we had a quick back and forth, and I gave him some encouragement. And I said, okay, cool. Video on Monday, yeah? And he's like, okay, video on Monday. And then I said, if you don't get the video by Monday, then you've got to swim in the lake on my island, which is essentially just a lake full of shit. It's a shit lake. And Andrew laughed and said, oh yeah, that would make a funny video. That's not a good punishment because he's actually seeing an ROI in that punishment, which you don't want. He would make a funny video out of it, which funnily enough, he probably wouldn't fucking end up posting because he didn't actually upload his video on Monday as we discussed. Anyway, and he's also not even swam in the shit lake, so I don't know. You want something you genuinely don't want to do. The easiest way to do this is simply just money. If you don't do this habit, then you fucking donate X amount to charity. Things like that, for example, because you're actually giving to charity, which is objectively good. And also, you genuinely don't want to lose money, do you? No one wants to lose money. So when it's like 9 p.m. and you realize that, oh fuck, I haven't done my 60-minute workout in the gym, and then you're faced with the decision of either going to the gym or donating 20 quid to charity, 50 quid, wherever your financials are at. You want it to sting a little bit, you want it to sting a little bit. You're far more likely to actually go and hit that 9 p.m. Sigma grind set workout. You want to tweak your habits constantly. For example, I already said I'm progressively overloading how many eggs I eat. I've started on 5. Tomorrow I'm moving it up to 8 because I've nailed 5 eggs in a row for a week straight. So now I'm going to move it up to 8 eggs. Change them all the time. Upgrade them. If you're finding that the barrier is too high, for example, I set my wake up time at 7:30 a.m. and I just wasn't doing it because my sleep right now is a little bit messed up. I'm waking up at like 9 a.m. 7:30 is just a little bit too wild for me. I could set an alarm, but I don't like waking up to an alarm. So I changed the barrier of entry. I changed it to 8:30 and that's much more manageable now. So you can do it both ways. If you're not managing your habits, you can raise the barrier of entry a little bit. And if you're finding that you're making your habits consistently, you can up the ante and make them a little bit harder. And every time you do that, you're just becoming better. It's as simple as that. It's incredible how easy it is to just be better like that. Boom. And once again, an accountability partner is great. The reason why Andrew didn't make his video is because I'm not really his accountability partner. I'm just a friend of his who gave him some words of encouragement. But ultimately, I'm not holding him accountable. I've not messaged him and said, "Where's the fucking video, bro?" You need an accountability partner, someone who has similar goals to you. But more importantly, someone who you actually like and really get along with. You speak to them every day effortlessly anyway, and you're comfortable holding each other accountable. I don't recommend that you join a random Discord server and like find an accountability partner there, even though that's very marketable for self-improvement guys to say, "Yeah guys, join my Discord and find an accountability partner there." I don't think that works because I don't give a shit about what this random dude in Discord thinks of me, and most of the time I don't know them well enough to actually be comfortable holding them accountable, like actually accountable. It doesn't really work. You need someone who you know and you like. But I will offer an alternative if you are on your lone wolf shit, your Sigma grind set lone wolf fucking journey into the abyss. You can use your Instagram stories as accountability. So no one in particular, but just post your habit tracker every single day on your Instagram story. And you're going to have people watching you, either rooting for you or hoping you fail. We all have people like that. The guys who are rooting for you might comment when they notice that you've missed a habit and be like, "Oh, come on, bro." They're basically just doing your accountability for you. And the guys who are rooting against you just serve as fuel for you. Your accountability partner essentially becomes your pride. We value our pride more than really much of anything else. So if you're putting yourself on blast publicly for missing your habit, you're not likely to do it again. And that is far more powerful than, "Guys, join my Discord server and find an accountability partner." That will last precisely 3 days and then you both give up and then you go back to edging to League of Legends Rule 34. I hope this video is helpful. Very simple stuff, but these 3 things give you a massive ROI if you master them and you practice them every single day. And remember that you do have to practice them, guys. And if you want any extra help and you want to actually start moving forward in your life and you actually want to start making some fucking money from the comfort of your home, on your laptop or your PC, check out the first link in the description. I'm not going to hard sell you on it. It's an absolutely fucking banging offer. One-time payment. I'm not doing this subscription model bullshit. Pay me $200 a month to fucking gain access. Bullshit. One-time payment. You're in for life. Check out the offer. It's a fucking banger. See if it's right for you. Take care, boys.